Hello, everyone. Ron, welcome back to Only Football. Mike, Ray Smile, how you doing? You feeling good?
Hey, it's just a good week of football. Minus the Juve loss, but we'll get into it. Not that game, but I've just been waiting for this. Excited about this episode. Got to see the raw passion.
I don't know. I mean, I watched Arsenal and Bournemouth, which was an amazing comeback on Saturday, and then I slept all Sunday. So
Oh, you didn't wake up and watch a game?
what happened?
Oh
Who
no.
played?
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Who
But
played? Who played? Tell me. I heard
Arsenal both did.
that was Saturday.
Yeah,
I missed Sunday. I was sleeping.
man.
I
What
woke
a
up. I woke up for our match, the only FC's match at 8 o'clock. Got out of bed at 7 p.m. and head to the field. No one mentioned anything. I don't know what's going on.
no. Arsenal was that a statement league win? Obviously, it's too early. But
It's huge.
But that's the game they usually drop points, and they didn't drop points this time.
Well,
so
I think since that Villa match, since that Andy Martinez own goal, that really just got them going again, and they've been rolling since, and even at like 2-0 Bournemouth, at 2-0 I was like, okay, actually maybe, and they answered so quickly, especially once they tied it, I was like, it's done for sure, and then a lot of false hope, an amazing finish from Reece Nelson.
it was a class finish, but
Yeah.
should have got to that point.
Well, we were just discussing this, and I was trying to think. So I watched the match, and then you are the one person that is adamant that that minute shouldn't have been given. And I was asking a regular, I'm like, a friend of mine, I was like, because I was trying to think, like should that extra minute should have been given? And he's like, yeah, it should have been. And so we were just talking about it, and so I was like, okay, all the Arsenal guys are going on at this minute. And I was
like
in
40
the
seconds. Like 40 seconds.
40 seconds. Okay, so 40 seconds at the beginning of injury time, right? He's down.
Yeah.
And then Bournemouth clear it at 30. They get the ball right back in.
Well, they cleared at the 96.
96-30.
Yeah. That's 96 even. And then Arsenal had their chance, and then they cleared at 96-30.
That's the clearance I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There should be still another 10-15 seconds to get the ball back in the box,
Is
which they
there?
do.
No, you
Which they do. They almost score off of that cross into the box, get the corner, which I think you should always let play anyway. And I think it's good. For me, I have no problem with it. I have a problem with it, Arsenal, winning, and that I have a problem with.
When you get to injury time, it's injury time.
Mike, that's ridiculous.
No, it's injury time.
So that means
it's injury time.
Teams that are desperate to cling on to a win, or in Bournemouth's case, cling on to a huge draw on the road to Arsenal, are going to eat up that clock. And teams will just keep on doing it game in, game out. How frustrating that'd be to watch?
But it's part of the game. It's part of soccer.
No, so you add the time.
No, you don't add the time. You don't give it. It's part of the show.
That's not part of the show. That takes away from the game, Mike.
No, it's part of the game. It's tactics. We saw the tactics with in the World Cup. You see the different regions, South Americans. They get away with their
and they have burnt. Well,
they won the World Cup. What are you talking
about? I'm saying teams doing that. I'm not saying South America specifically. Teams doing that, especially in the World Cup, got burnt because they put on what the injury time.
But 6 minutes is still a lot.
It was
coming like it seems normal compared to the World Cup, but coming back, it's usually been like
it's been
4 or 5.
It's been what it is, yeah.
4 or 5, but 6, it's like you've already given them like an extra minute. You put 5 and then you put 6 because there will be some other stuff in that. You're already taking that into account when they give 6, and I don't know. I think you give them to 30, and then once they clear it, which they did, you don't give them a second chance.
If the Bournemouth player was down for 40 seconds, you give them that 40.
No.
40, 45 seconds, you give them 10 or
you
10
can maybe
seconds.
do 20, 25. Right? You can't take it all.
I don't think any Arsenal fans would have batted an eyelash had they not got that extra ball back in after getting the extra 30 seconds.
That's why you blow it. You're proving my point more.
No,
it's like, okay, we already did go
That's
over.
just what's been established. I like that, that time was completely added because, hopefully it keeps us a little more honest in the future. So for me, again, I don't think Arsenal fans would have complained about not getting an extra 10 or 15, but that 10 or 15 I do think should have been awarded and was. And hopefully in the future, it just kind of keeps players on their toes. And
watch next time Arsenal, they're going to be up a goal and the other team's going to be on them, and there's going to be time wasting, and boom, the referee's going to call it when it should.
I don't doubt it.
And
they've been getting a lot of shit
like
that.
Oh, it's not consistent.
I wouldn't doubt that for a second. I really wouldn't. They've been, I have to deal with a lot of Arsenal fans, and they somehow still manage to twist, so much that goes against them. It's mind-boggling to me. But I wouldn't be surprised that did happen. I wouldn't. But it doesn't, in this case, change the fact that the ref made the right call.
I don't know about that, but the better team won. We can agree on that.
Absolutely. I mean, that said, Bournemouth's chances that they did have, their shots on target were 2 goals and an extremely very good chance. A great save by Aaron Ramsdale.
In the first half, yeah.
But of course they were going to get dominated and outchanced by Arsenal, especially an Arsenal team that was trailing 2-0 at one point. It's been happened. They show more metal, so good on them.
12 games left, right?
12 games left, man. 12 games left.
5 points up. There's to lose.
Yep.
There's to lose. But congrats, Arsenal. Bournemouth, those could have been valuable points coming to the end of the year. We'll see.
Yep. Even just the one.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
It would suck, but your plan was to sit back and it worked at first. You got the 2-0 lead, but you kind of have to go for the third at that point.
No.
Right? You don't go all out for the third, but it's like, okay, like 3 will really put it to Arsenal.
Of course, but I'm
not saying you go, but it just at least last 10 minutes.
Surprise second fastest field goal of all time and a set piece, and that counter that Ramsdale saved. I mean, that was always their game. Like, if they're going for it and they're pushing up, like what space?
Not going for it, but I'm saying after you go up 2-0, just last 10 minutes. Next 10 minutes, no goals. Let's stay up 2-0 for the next 10 minutes, and they concede 5 minutes later.
It was tied 10 minutes later, basically, in 15 tops.
And then it's just like, okay, all the momentum's gone. But after 10 minutes, then you can, okay, they're going to get even more frustrated. They're going to get more openings. Let's try and bury one.
Well, of course, that was their plan. That was they executed that up until that first goal they conceded anyway. So they were probably taking that match in blocks. Let's get to halftime. Like the halftime without conceding.
Yeah.
It happened. Of course, their plan was to take it in little chunks per game. They did a pretty good job. But once that first one goes in,
it's tight. It would be
once the first one goes in. What if they tied?
Yeah, they would have been 18 still, but
yeah,
it's very tight down there.
Yeah, I know.
Very, very
and we
tight.
will close with a part. We're gonna head off to Chelsea Dortmund, and then we're gonna do. I tried. We're gonna do Liverpool United.
What are they calling this? What everything has every game has a name. What's the name that's sticking out? Is it the Nightmare at Anfield? Or
I'm just calling it Disgrace. It's the title of the show is Disgrace at Anfield, and Arsenal shows some out. This is disgrace. It was a disgrace because it's not like it was disgraceful because I guess we'll stop into it. Anyway, and we're gonna preview Champions League tomorrow. Review Chelsea today. I'm not gonna bother with Benfica, obviously. And then on the weekend, we're going to wrap up with West Ham Villa and Fulham Arsenal. It's just great. It's just because obviously the only way Liverpool are really bagging even 5 goals, possibly 4, really, with this United team is because they threw in the towel.
Yeah.
They completely threw
in the towel.
Like
last year when it was 5-0 and it was just a way better team, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a team that was, I guess, didn't
know what they're doing, poorly managed.
It's a complete opposite team, and a team that you kind of kickstarted their season after losing 2-1 at Old Trafford, right? They kind of got the ball rolling, and is it kind of what do you call it, good fate or a good fortune that this could be the game that turns around Liverpool's season, in terms of the top 4, even it'd be asking a lot to overcome the Real Madrid deficit, but they're up there. If they win that game in hand, they are 1 point behind Tottenham, or tied with Tottenham. Sorry, tied. But if Newcastle wins their 2 games, and it's tough, it's tight. Even Brighton's up there if they win their 2 games. They're at 44. If they had lost this game, I think top 4 was kind of out of reach. Like at the same point of
I
was
would
it two years
disagree.
ago when
I would
they
disagree
came
with that.
third. It would be
If
around
Liverpool
that.
lost this, I wouldn't say that they'd be done because they'd still have they'd be what 6 points back with the game in hand. It wouldn't be done. There's no way, especially with the Spurs team. No fucking way is it done. Because going into it, if Liverpool had lost this match, it's like okay, we're playing a very informed United team. And it's but apart from the Real match, they have been in good form in the last month.
Yeah, they did good defensive form at least. They're
Sure.
not conceding, just not scoring. Because they did go 3 or 4 scoreless, or something like that, or 2 and 4.
I'm pretty sure they'd won like 3, apart from what
Palace,
There's Palace
right,
too. Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. That's true. But anyway, I mean, tip of the hat to Liverpool. Obviously, I'm not going to take anything away from them, but it's very petulant. We looked good. The United looked good in the first half. I think could have been 1-1. It could have been. Who knows if Rashford puts away that chance? If
Fernandez's header too.
Everyone really got on Fernandez from extension. That was a tight angle.
It was.
Like I thought he took that very well. Like you had to consider like how he had to hit it with his head and where he was aiming for. Because Alisson had pretty much everything covered.
It was a good miss.
I agree, but like the commentary was like they said something like if Rashford had taken that, he would have scored. I was like,
given his form.
Yeah, he's not even good in the air. Rashford, that is. But then Rashford had the golden opportunity, and who knows what changes with that, but it's really irrelevant. That's one chance, and then Fred's just napping. Like it looks like a great ball from Robertson, but like Fred.
Well, it was the run that did him right because Gakpo kind of like faked the feint, right, and then he went behind, right.
Yeah,
right when he turned his hips, boom.
But Fred got
bit.
Lost in that.
He got bit. Fell for the trap.
But I don't know.
I guess you can just for that goal, but the third goal, or sorry, the second goal.
The second was that.
It was
Shaw gives it away inexplicably.
Third goal was a giveaway too.
Yeah, it was Bruno, but in their end. A lot of listen, and I'm not making excuses. The bounces that Liverpool were getting was actually kind of crazy. Like at 4-0, like someone messaged one of the group says, like, what happened? And like I wasn't just saying this, but like just to be cheeky, is like a lot of bounces, a lot of bad bounces. There were,
but it's only
who's
half.
hungry?
Of course. It's only half of it, right? It's like there was always a mistake before the good fortunate bounce that caused.
The second one was ridiculous. I mean, how that doesn't get cleared is just absurd. Like there was like 6 opportunities after that terrible giveaway from Shaw. Shaw fell off a cliff in that half. People really going on Bruno. But there were players that were worse. And not to say that like
Martinez had
a bad game. McTominay, shocking. I don't even know why he came on. I honestly I saw him come on at 3-0 and I was like, I can only hope for Sabitzer's sake and United's sake. He's like he knows the game's done. No. Like he knows the game's done and he's bringing on McTominay instead of Sabitzer. He's keeping Sabitzer for Bettis. But Gakpo, Nunez, Salah just completely dismantled us. Some like really class finishing. Obviously, some again lucky bounces, but some really really good finishing.
The second goal was nice.
The header,
I
know, it was an amazing header. Both the Gakpos were great.
Yeah.
Again, with the fourth goal for Salah, McTominay actually does well to break that up and it just kind of falls to him. But
what a
great finish, just
weak foot too.
Merciless finish. Weak foot, no pressure. Up 3-0, game's already dead. And then petulance, a lot of petulance from Bruno. I'm not excusing his behavior or his play. I just you see just like a lot in the media about like him being the one to blame solely, and it's like, come on, man, like
he's the captain.
Okay, fine. He's been the captain all season pretty much, apart from actually quite a few of our losses at the beginning of the year. And he has an incredible win percentage as our captain. So I think people really need to just kind of I know, like, especially if you don't support United, how much he can drive you insane. I get that as a United fan. Like he's a petulant player. He's a bit of a shithouse, and
he deserves some of the blame though.
Absolutely.
You're on the field there. I know it's like you have to at least tell everyone we can't let this get a hand. Like just lock it down. We've lost this game, but don't make it embarrassing.
But yeah, well, for sure. Because there's no way Ten Hag was like keep attacking,
no.
and yeah, absolutely. But Yeah, he's the captain. He's the captain. Where's the praise for this guy playing fucking 90 minutes
every game,
every like twice a week for who the fuck knows how long? His winning percentage is over 60% as captain. Our losing percentage is like 15 or 16.
Yeah, but it's the
So
beauty of being a big
we,
player is you have the next few games to remind everybody who
yeah,
you are.
absolutely.
It will be forgotten. It won't be forgotten because of the score.
No,
it's just
no, for sure. But it's just hilarious. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. Like
it's the ups and downs of a season.
Yeah, but I mean, like the amount of flack he's getting is.
He plays for Manchester United. He's the captain of
Yeah,
Manchester United.
but he doesn't get much love when he's doing well. I'll say that.
It's 10 on. It gets the love. Someone has to get it. It will change, especially if you guys can win Europa.
Mm-hmm. Listen,
it's a bad defeat. There's no going around it. There's no dance around the point, but it could be a defeat that snaps you guys back into shape, right? Would you have rather lost 3-0 or 7-0?
I have 3 because 3 would have been bad enough. Really? 3 would have been Mike.
I think 7 is like this is an anomaly. We'll never get to this point again. It's kind of like
fucking right. They won't. They haven't been to that point since 1931, Mike. All right.
I was treating it more like a Brentford, like 4 goals in the first half.
3 is bad enough. 3 is bad enough. They should have shut it down at 4. At 3, it's like it was 3 early too. There was still 40 minutes to play. All right, maybe like you're toying with the idea of a draw, but they lost their heads before that anyway. In that 5 minutes. But fine. But at 4, you shut the fuck down. And they did. Yes, 3-4-0, absolutely. Absolutely, Michael. Like it's not even a question. It is our tied for worst loss of all time.
Yeah, and I think it could be a good thing. I think it's better.
3 would have been just as big a wake up call, Mike. Just as
no, this is a bigger one because you're gonna remember it longer. It's like how many times have they lost 3-0? Thousands of times. Sure. How many times are you gonna lose 7-0?
Sure.
How many times is Ten Hag gonna remind them of this for the rest of the season? Even going forward in the years to come.
Oh, absolutely, he will.
This could be a good.
The thing is, why I disagree with that is because I think Ten Hag is so obsessive that 3-0 loss would have been bad enough for him to continually remind them anyway. So that's like there's no difference to me apart from the fact that this is much more humiliating and much more memorable for fans. Whereas like I think with someone like Ten Hag, he wouldn't let them forget a 3 or 4-0 loss. He wouldn't.
Don't have to let them. They can remember it themselves now.
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing, especially with Betis the next game. Betis. I think we'll get a good showing for Man United. But
yeah, we're at home for that too. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get on to Europe, but not that level of Europe, the top tier of Europe, and Chelsea.
Yeah, they shut me out. They shut me out.
2 in a row.
I said they weren't going through. I was adamant about that.
I was adamant about them going through.
Yes, you were. Did you watch the game?
I had it on. At work.
It was pretty dominant.
I saw.
Dortmund did not show up. They did not show up.
Havertz had a post. Did I say that right?
Yes, he had 2 posts. Well, one on paper. But yes, he hit the inside of the post and it went across. They were dominating. They were dominating since the early minute. I don't know why. The plan was to press, and Dortmund tried to play out of the press and never could. Didn't adapt. Didn't show anything offensively. I guess pretty happy to try and sit and counter, but I thought the strategy for at least knowing Chelsea is a team that's struggling for goals, go out on the front foot, score a goal early, and make them have to score 2.
Sure.
It's like they haven't scored 2 since January, mid-January. I think December. December, late December, right? They haven't scored 2 since then. Like, put the pressure on them to score 2. Don't just sit back and hope for the break. It didn't happen, and
poorly managed in that sense.
Very lucky to get to near halftime 0-0, and then one tiny mistake in the 43rd, Sterling capitalizes on the 3rd chance, and just like that, you're down 1-0, right? You would think just like United against Liverpool come out strong, the Champions League game, you're on the road, you can get one early, you have control of the tie again. And the opposite came out kind of flat, and then there was the penalty call. Again, I'm not calling it.
Me,
I think the ref did a good thing in the moment. He knew it hit the hand, but I thought it was more of a proximity thing.
exactly, and that's.
But it's hard. Like when
But
if
didn't
it's
they
if you
switch
make
this like 2 years
if
ago?
it makes it like proximity, it's like what is the distance
Right.
that is
You have to get the
proximity?
you know what I mean? You have to get the
I'm
lines out.
afraid.
For that.
I'm afraid they might
Yeah, right.
like start doing that, right? But even then,
you
it's
can
like
eyeball that proximity. Like, come on, and like for me, that's not one. Like, did they not? Especially like was it 2 Prem seasons ago where like those handballs are being called for pens all the time, and then the next season they basically said if an attacking player, if it hits his hand like that in the box and it's an attacking player, it's handball. But if it's a defensive player, no.
Depending, yeah.
Right. And for me, it's not a penalty either.
Yeah. And once they go to VAR and have to look at all these angles and you hear all these people in your ears, I can only imagine it's like the pressures. And if you like don't call a penalty, like
I love it when refs stand by
their decision.
When obviously when I think it's the proper decision. In which case I would have loved to have seen just be like, okay, I looked at it, I came and checked it out just like you asked, and no, I'm just gonna stick to my guns. It's a weird one. And then what? And then they encroach. And then what?
Again.
Half the field fucking encroaches.
Money talks. Does money talk? Chelsea has more money, so they let them go through.
What the hell happened there? Like who bit first?
So
Chilwell went bit farthest.
So what it was is Sule kind of like runs into Chilwell as he's running into the box and kind of pushes him in, right? So it's kind of like this, but after he's in, he like kind of let go, and then Chilwell kind of continues running because of the push, right? So it was voluntary after like the little nudge, right? So that's the only thing I can see the referee or VAR going. Chilwell, although he's the closest man to the ball or into the goal line, he was kind of brushed into the box.
But who went first? Who was the first player of that line?
Well, technically, it was Chilwell because he kind of got bumped in.
Okay, and so that they're saying it was Sula all the way.
They didn't say this, but that's the only defense I could have for it.
Someone's got.
But by the time, because Havertz does I didn't know this, but he does the stutter step and sends the goalie the wrong way, hits the post, and one of the Dortmund players, I guess, that encroached is the one that cleared it. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's the other defense, but
that I don't think matters. I think really like whenever someone encroaches, that's it.
But then it didn't affect the shot.
No, I think
and it was a player that encroached into the half circle. That is the one who cleared it. So he's still coming from further. But I guess technically they're all the same if that line's there. It's the purpose of the line. But I don't know. I don't think you give them a retake. They had the chance. It was already a questionable penalty, and then it's a miss. I was like, all right, then ball doesn't lie, right? That's how I take it. It's like, all right, now we're making the ball lie, guys. The ball didn't lie, but we're gonna make it lie and tell the story we want.
We're gonna beat it around a little bit more.
And sure enough, they get the retake, and boom, scores. And
brandish a paring knife.
That's when Dortmund tried to at least play attacking football, and they just got ate up in the counter. It could have been 3-4 nothing.
Yeah, no, they did. Graham Potter hanging around. It was
a good performance, but he did say he wanted the crowd to be a big factor, and they did. But so I give it credit to a crowd win more than Potter win.
I mean, hey, he's got to get all the help he can. Someone's got to show up for him.
Is Mudryk injured? Because he didn't even be used as a sub. Is there grumblings there?
I didn't. Oh, he's barely been playing, buddy.
I know that.
I don't think he's hurt. I think
Pulisic came back from injury and went on.
I don't think he's hurt. I'm gonna check it.
Right. So it's just like.
No, he was on. He's been on use, man, for a while now.
I was like, they're giving Pulisic 7 minutes. Time?
Last time he played was 7 minutes against Spurs. Last time he started was the 1-0 loss to Dortmund.
He must be a horrible practice player, or there's grumblings.
We'll see.
Well, they signed so many players that some of them were bound to leave in the summer. So,
sure.
Right? It's like you can't sign all these players and keep them all happy with playing time. It's impossible, right? That's why you can only sign so many at a time without, disrupting the natural bond, I guess, in the dressing room. Because practice, like you make your way onto a starting 11 through practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're practicing well, and even though star player, making more money than you
Mm-hmm.
is, I guess screwing around in practice, not training seriously,
Yeah, as
the
long as I'm a
coach will
competent
boom,
manager. Yeah.
put him in and play him maybe 2, 3 games in a row just to say, hey, this is what happens when you fool around in practice.
I don't want to see him fail. Like I'm sure, definitely, there's no doubt. Like Arsenal fans want to see him fail, and I don't necessarily fault them for that. But he's such an exciting talent at Shakhtar. Like I watched him play a decent amount when I could through the Champions League last year. Definitely the group stages, and there's a lot of talent there. I'm not. I don't want him to fail. I'd like to see him
succeed at Chelsea.
I mean,
Or
yeah, it hurt. Like, where does he go if he completely flops at Chelsea? That's the thing, and that's the thing. If he completely flops at Chelsea, he's not going anywhere until next summer, earliest. So that's a year and a half. And then who's coming? And then he's gotta pick it back up again. When it comes to talents like this, I for the most part do want to see them succeed, no matter where they are.
You think there's a player there?
I always did. Like I always thought they were paid. And
current market.
Exactly. Like that's just how it goes. But there was a reason why they paid it, and I agreed with that reason. I did actually think that it was Arsenal, like from the get go. I think Arsenal were better off in the current position that they're in, leading the Premier League and trying to actually see it over the line by bringing in a much cheaper option, like a third of the price, in Leandro Trossard, someone who has been in very good form this season and is also Premier League proven.
Yeah.
To add some depth, that's not gonna and also be pissed off if he's not starting in an Arsenal team that's firing on all cylinders, right?
Yeah.
You bring in Mudryk, like Arsenal for me made the right move there. Did Chelsea have to go out and get Mudryk? Did he have to make a move at all? I don't necessarily think so. Like he didn't have to really push for that move, which he kind of was. Obviously, Shakhtar held out. Shakhtar held out.
The wage bill, right? He only sees the wage bill. Think about it. He doesn't care about the
sure, and also obviously the all the glory that comes with playing at a team such as Chelsea over
Shakhtar. To live in London
for sure. He definitely could have sat tight. I don't think it's by any stretch over, but he's definitely got to wake up. Like something's amiss there. He had that nice cameo against Liverpool in his first match, and that's it. That's been it. So we'll see. We shall see. Shall we get on to tomorrow?
Yes, I guess we
Spurs Milan to start. What? It's 1-0. It's two teams that are relatively.
No, it'll be a good tie. It'll be a good tie, but no one's gonna be watching it. No one's.
No, it's kind of like you go on DAZN, and DAZN has the championship, but whenever champions and championship's always on when the Champions League's on, but whenever the Champions League is on, there's no championship matches on offer.
Oh, really?
No, they just don't bother.
Yeah.
they just don't bother. They didn't even actually bother. I was surprised at this. They didn't actually do Lazio AZ for the Europa Conference today at 12:45.
Well, they didn't do it.
And then I checked. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, just give me a little appetizer.
And they didn't offer it?
And no, it wasn't there. So I went to soccer, then I went to leagues, I went to Conference League, and they only have one, and it's West Ham against Lathins or something. Like
Ike.
And no, it's not. I know, buddy. It's not. It's like a Cyprian team. It's one of the Cyprian ones.
Okay.
So it's like
you don't know.
They're just all They're just all in on Prem. That's like really like there's other like Lazio AZ is an interesting matchup.
They
anyway.
They said one, right? 2-1.
Yeah, they came back.
So they went through.
No, that was the first leg.
Oh.
Yeah. They're the lesser tournaments.
Yeah.
They like just bang them out. They have the extra round.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Spurs Milan. Pioli says they're not going to be sitting back anyway. They're not going to just be like resting on that one goal like Dortmund did, for example. To make a relevant comparison, they're completely healthy. Magnol's back, which to me is huge. They had a really disappointing.
Zlatan's back.
Zlatan's been back. And they had a really, really poor performance against Fiorentina on the weekend. Leao was suspended.
He's well rested for this game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I just always Emerson Royale's been for Emerson Royale has been since the restart. in decent form. He's been in okay form, maybe. Like, oh,
It's still Emerson Royale.
exactly. That's what I was getting
Don't
to.
get too.
That's what I was getting to. I'm not getting carried away at all.
I mean, something bad's happening. He might be at fault for one goal. I
I'm
might put that
surprised.
down.
Benasser out. It's kind of like the midfield is. It's already kind of light in its own sense, especially creatively. But Skip.
He won't be starting, will he?
I think so.
Really?
He has been. He's been starting a lot.
I don't think he'll start for Champions League.
Who's he starting? Who's going to start over him? Basuma's out too. Basuma hasn't been playing. But even if Basuma was healthy, Mike, I think Skip is. Who am I forgetting here? Bentancur. I'm saying Benasser. Benasser is one. Sorry, Bentancur's out. Højbjerg's there.
Yeah, Højbjerg.
Is there? I feel like there's Basuma.
Someone else.
Then there's Basuma. And then isn't there another very like-for-like midfielder there that we're forgetting?
Skip, yeah,
or a guy who just kind of puts in a tackle, is not very good going forward, but he's like okay. Let's.
You have it loaded.
They're on the back. They don't have the bench though.
They don't have the injured.
No, that's it. Pape Sarr. It's Pape
Sarr.
Sarr. Young. That's who it is. It's Sarr. And Skip has been doing okay.
Yeah, it might be Skip.
Buddy, Benasser and Tonali. Benasser and
Is Son going to be on the bench?
No. I like Richarlison. Yeah, I've been especially
they look for Richarlison on, and they lose with Son.
He puts in work, man. Richarlison puts in work, but he still has. I mean, he scored in the Champions League. I'll say that. He hasn't scored once in the Premier season. That's fucking shock. He's been hurt, but not so hurt. He's been injured a couple times, but it hasn't been that bad. I like Richarlison too, and
If Spurs lose this, is Conte out the door?
Well, if Spurs lose this, they're not winning the Champions League anyway.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, well.
And
I mean, at the end, for sure they might give him the end of the year, but after that,
they're not going to fire him.
I'm saying at the summer they'll just say we're not.
They or him? That's the question.
Think Daniel Levy will keep him? He wants to keep him. They give Marino the sack prematurely.
I mean,
Conte
did pretty damn well last year.
Yes,
and
but
they're still somehow doing okay this year.
Ronaldo did last year.
Yeah, but Spurs are still in fourth. Don't get it twisted. They're still in Champions League.
Are they playing attractive football?
No.
You see expressions oozing? He's losing his mind.
What?
No, never mind.
Excuse me?
No, they're playing boring football.
Yeah, sure.
Expressions.
Expressions. Oh, okay.
He's going bonkers.
Yeah, but hey, man, is top four enough for that team? I think Conte would. I think
That's all they want. Top four. They don't care. They don't care what happens once you get there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just making it there. And
yeah, that is their level. They're like a poor man's United.
United's on the way up.
Yeah, we are, but you know what, man? We don't get new ownership, and we're still fun.
I'm going 1-1.
I think Milan's gonna win this.
3-1.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
3-1.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I think that midfield's gonna Tonali and Benasser against.
If there's no early goal there was last time,
Skip and Højbjerg most likely. No, thank you.
This is gonna be a
no, thank fest. You. I like Milan tomorrow. Milan PSG parlay.
This is a snooze fest. 1-1. On to that.
Hey, I mean, honestly, this. Yeah. Well, yeah. 1-1.
It's gonna be 1-1.
You think it's gonna be 1-1? Yeah. If it's 1-1, who's scoring first?
In the second half, probably
Milan, then Spurs.
Probably no. If anything, Spurs gonna lose, they'd beat them bottling. So
sure.
Yeah, typical.
I can see that. I don't think Milan's gonna be rattled. I don't think they'll be rattled by the likes of Spurs if they go down. But I like them to win. I'm looking at the projection. You're not starting Salamakers. Stop that.
Salamakers.
Leave him alone.
2 years ago, he was on fire though.
Buddy, he was not on fire.
Yeah,
why do you stand by him so
good.
much? He wasn't. He came from who was he on loan from originally in Belgium? Someone.
He's not playing well now, but
he never was, Mike. He never. You know why he was playing well? Because he was on loan. They literally got him on loan from. I don't even think it was Bruges. I'm not even sure. Yeah, I'll tell you right now. It was Anderlecht. 2 goals in 64 appearances for Anderlecht. My God, where did they even Why? I never understood it. I
He-
never understood it. And then he came in he got like a couple.
He won't
early.
start, but he'll get a sub appearance.
He got a couple early.
He'll get a sub
And
appearance.
man, he's so bad.
He's not bad.
He is. He's bad. Like dribbling, passing. Like he's just not good.
Let's get to the
He's actually like not a good player.
Let's get to the blockbuster game.
Bayern PSG. Let's go. Neymar out for
the season.
Is this his sister's 30th? Like, how old is she?
He's a year younger than us, so he's 30. Or he's turning 31.
Yeah,
he just turned 31.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
So she's probably what?
28.
Yeah, 29.
Something like that.
Is it
maybe 30? 4 months for her 30th birthday.
Is this the fourth time in 5 years?
At least. I feel like I've been saying it at least 4 years in a row.
It's something about it. I don't like. I'm not like. There's some conspiracy theories I laugh at, but this is not one I laugh at.
No, it's
this is not one I laugh at.
Because if it's true, it's very true.
It's just at least 4 of the last 5 years.
Yeah. Anyway, Neymar's out for the rest of the season. At least go to the match. Like you got to show your face.
Qatar. Didn't he go to Qatar to get her? He went to Doha or somewhere to get to see the surgeon. So who knows if he take a plane back to Bayern to watch the team, or if he just said screw it, I'm going to Brazil.
Okay, well enough about him. He's injured. Galtier reckons that even though the team isn't, to quote Galtier, the team isn't better without him, it is more balanced. Which I can see that from Galtier. He is a bit of a defensive-minded manager.
It's just the right thing to say, given the time. It was like the perfectly.
I actually think that he probably does think that. To be honest, he is. You saw what Lille did to win that league. Defensively, they were sensational. So I actually don't think it's total bullshit. But I think it's a very diplomatic answer because he's not wrong. I don't think he's lying. Like the team's not better without Neymar, but it suits Galtier personally.
Style.
Yeah.
And they have to come out on the front foot. They can't come out like they did last game and were content.
You know what's big for me? I like it. Mbappe was out for he was just coming back.
Yeah.
And you saw in that last half an hour that the tide turned.
Yeah.
The tide turned, and that they were inches away from that being a tie game. There were 2 offsides, but one was clearly offside.
You think Davies starts this game now that Mbappe started?
Davies has to start.
Didn't start the first leg.
Nah, he's starting.
Cancelo.
He's starting.
He started too?
No.
Cancelo?
No. How can Cancelo be starting?
If he starts, then you're betting hard PSG?
No. I don't necessarily hate Cancelo starting, but I mean, defensively you can do a little better. Like, do you really want to, as like Nagelsmann? If you're Nagelsmann, do you really want to kind of tip your hand in terms of just going almost too strong offensively? Like Cancelo, obviously, I wouldn't be too perturbed, but this is someone who's played 12 minutes in the last 2 matches.
So you'd rather him coming off the bench?
If need be,
You think he'd be a reliable bench? Like his attitude-wise, I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying.
That's an interesting point, Mike. Because if you're bringing Cancelo on, I'm only bringing him on if the game's tied or you're losing.
Yes.
And yeah, that's interesting. I mean,
if they're up 1-0,
was this a problem at Juve for him? Someone said he did shit like this at Juve. No, I don't remember.
He went from Inter to Juve, right, and then to the City.
Yeah.
No, because we had to pretty much play him.
He was great for you
because Spinazzola was hurt, and then he started playing well, and then he got hurt again.
So I remember when you sold him, I was like, or when you swapped him, basically, I was like, that was a mistake.
It was, I know, but
and I don't remember that being there because he was playing all the time.
He was only there for a year, though.
Someone said somewhere that he did this.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't to go to Juve, but
yeah,
I wanted him to stay. I thought it was a dumb switch, but here we are. If it's 1-0 at 65th minute, and you're not subbing him in, he's probably getting pissed, right?
Yeah. That's If you're losing,
no, if you're winning 1-0, he would still want to play. But if Bayern's winning 1-0, 65th minute, and he's not getting Coach Nagelsmann's not telling him to warm him up.
Don't bring him up. You warm him up, get him on the sidelines, but I wouldn't. Anyway, Nagelsmann even said on the weekend, who were they playing on the weekend? Stuttgart.
They didn't need him.
Oh, you said that Stanisic just provides more of a more balanced defensive option. How are you not gonna just roll with that when you're not? And it's not to say that Sanchez is useless going forward by any stretch. He's not Cancelo, but are you not going to play that when you're defending lead against PSG?
You still want to
And
score.
Yeah, they can still. They have so much talent. They win the midfield battle. That's like they can still score without Cancelo.
Yes, I know that, but it makes it easier.
Yeah, but it also probably makes it a little easier to concede. And do you want? I wouldn't start him. I really wouldn't. I also would immediately start him this weekend in the Bundesliga. Fucking believe that.
Well, I feel as though you get him to play him in these types of matches. So what was the point of getting him if you're not going to play him?
Hey, they got him alone. It's an experiment.
You had Stanisic already.
It's an experiment,
Mike. If you knew.
But maybe he expected a little more grit from Cancelo defensively. It's not just all flash and you're on Bayern just crossing the ball in for easy assists. It's not how it goes. And maybe that's what he's seen recently. Is that maybe he's like his work, like Mundrik, for example.
Yeah, I guess in practice
just aren't there, and he's sitting on a ball with his head in his hands. I mean, that happens. Like that photo could have been taken out of context, but just based on what's happened in the last couple with City and now 2 matches in a row, you got to figure that's just him pouting again.
Yeah, but he was thrown right into the fire, right? So that's why I thought he was like they're throwing him into the fire for this game.
Mm-hmm.
For I don't know. I don't see PSG winning this though without Neymar, unfortunately. I think although Bayern aren't firing on all cylinders, they're kind of heating up at the right time.
A little bit.
And the Fortuna's the only goal of the tie could be the deciding factor in this. And if they score one, I think they're most likely going through. I don't see them being shut out. And it's hard for me to see PSG scoring 2 goals in this tie, in this match.
I think so.
So I'm thinking 1-1, and Bayern goes through 2-1 in aggregate.
I think Mbappe's up for it.
He better be.
I know it's only he better be. And that's only one player, but
he can really make the difference. Is he the best player in the world?
This is a really good time to show it. And I think he's going to. But you know what? Do they get? I'm going to go 2-1 PSG.
Messi.
But do they get burnt by the road goal rule? Do they win 2-1 and then lose in extra time or penalties, despite winning it 2 years ago?
No, I think just Bayern have their number. I really don't. Like not that they'll have the number to beat them, but they know they've been here, done that. PSG's never, but they've been here obviously a lot of times, and a lot of
Bayern 2 years ago.
Smacked. It wasn't smacked.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't smacked.
It wasn't. It was actually a really tight tie.
Yes. But
that was last year. The road goals actually was. They were smacking the first leg, weren't they? And then did Bayern pull them back at the end? No. It went 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. Oh no, it went 2-0, 2-all, and then Mbappe scored.
It was 2-0 PSG. Then they came back.
That's why I was thinking I smacked them. Yeah, that was a really tight tie.
That was in the snow. That was in the snow, right?
Yeah, I think yeah. Mbappe scored right away. And then Bayern had a lot of chances in the second leg.
Yeah, they had 20 shots.
Yeah, it was crazy. 2-1 PSG.
And then who to advance?
PSG in penalties.
And Pence.
Yep.
Without Neymar.
Donnarumma.
Yeah, I guess. But Neymar is usually a for sure goal, right?
Mbappe, maybe not.
Oh, yeah. Well, he scored 2 against Martinez.
Yeah, 3.
Well, 2 penalties. Oh, yeah. It was 3 penalties. Yeah, it was. You're right.
Best keeper in the world, Emi Martinez.
No, get out of here. But no, hopefully it's PSG.
For both of our sakes.
Yes.
Let's go. Okay. All right. Let's get to the Prem.
Villa
West Ham. A couple old school managers, one of which, seems to be able to actually manage. And
Currently,
David. Oh, what? Emery was good at. He was okay at Arsenal. He was okay at Army currently. He was fine at PSG. They collapsed.
no, I'm talking about Moyes.
Well,
Currently, but
Moyes is mostly down for. Okay, see the third most wins or third most matches as a manager in the Prem.
Matches.
It's matches, right? It's not wins.
But I'm saying those 2 years with West Ham were good.
They were pretty good, but
they're pretty good. They were excellent.
He had a ceiling, and they got found out. That's the thing.
Yes,
they got found out.
He's still a good manager.
He's a championship manager.
As he just said, he has the third most.
He's done now. So what? Like some Neil Warnock, Sam Allardyce, they've got a shit ton of matches too. All right, they're championship managers, and David Moyes, once he's fired from West Ham, will
end up in the championship.
Maybe they'll probably get one more go at maybe an up and comer or next. Let's say it's fired. I think you got to fire him.
You give him Sheffield.
You got to. Well, no. If you're Sheffield, if you get promoted, you don't fire your manager.
Yeah, of course.
But once one of those managers in October gets fired, David Moyes will get one more chance. And then when he gets fired from that team, he will be going to the championship. And the next time you see him in the Prem will only ever be if he promotes a team. It's the only way.
So you think they're getting stomped this game?
No, I don't necessarily think they're getting stomped, but they will lose. 2-1 Villa. They're in form. Villa's been a little weird. Like they're kind of in form. They're kind of not. But Ollie Watkins is on a hot streak. Emery's just tactically a better manager. David Moyes counterattack, and Emery relies on that as well. But he's just more organized. And you see it this year with West Ham. They've been utterly found out. I mean, De Serbi, that was new school versus old school last week, and Brighton took them to the cleaners.
They did. Antonio had a chance early on that could have made it 1-0 or maybe 1-1.
It was probably 1-1. I don't know. It might have been 1-0 because Brighton didn't score till the second half. Near the first half.
But Antonio had a good chance. I think they had another good chance there too.
I don't like it.
Villa is actually they do better on the road than they do at home,
which they are.
They're on
the road. They're on the road indeed. Paying handsomely as well.
I don't see. I don't know if you. I think you have to give Moyes the end of the season, but
I think so too. No, I agree with. I mean, listen, it's crunch time now. They're in a relegation.
It is. I'm looking at it.
They're in there's 12 matches left, and they are 1 point above relegation. So if you have to fire him in the next 2 matches.
If you are.
Yeah, because that team has the ability to possibly pick up on a manager's style to play in a relegation fight in 10 matches to get enough done in those 10 matches.
So who? You gotta give an example.
Fuck.
Big Sam?
No, not another manager like that. There's got to be someone with a little more impetus to attack with that. Well, I mean, why the fuck did Bruges sign Scott Parker?
Parker?
I honestly, that would have been something for West. It was such a weird appointment at Bruges. I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, he might be gone soon.
I think he's got to be gone.
He's already had his bags packed by the door.
It's how many? He's won twice, maybe.
Yeah.
He's got stomped by Oostende on the weekend too. You may say who's Oostende? Well, they're mid-table Belgian league. So, but someone like him who does want to play a little bit, and there's enough talent on that team that I think a lot of those players want to show what they can do.
Yeah.
In that sense, and they need to be released. They're tethered right now. They're tethered by David Moyes and his lead ball.
Do they need to release the Kraken?
They don't have a Kraken, but yeah, yeah, they don't have a Kraken, but yes.
I'm going 2-0 Villa.
I like Villa. I'm going to 2-1 though.
2-1.
I'm going to 2-1 Villa. I just do kind of want to think about Scott Parker is an interesting call.
But who else would you take?
I know, honestly, realistically, who's out there? That's the thing. I feel like we do this every couple of weeks. There's always a team who could be losing this and that, and who's out there.
Lampard, he did it with Everton.
You know what, Mike? honestly, that is again it's a big risk. That's a huge risk. But that is someone who you saw at Chelsea couldn't defend at all. But they were okay going forward. There were times when they just kind of light teams up. Obviously, it's Chelsea, but they would. Defensively, they were shambolic. Then he goes to Everton, and everyone gets injured offensively, and defensively they were okay for a while. He had a decent run defensively this year, and then it really fell apart. De Serbi again. Anyway, you have to fire him in 2 games.
If you are, but I think they'll give him the rest of the season.
Well, if they get a result this weekend, he's fine. Result, I mean win.
They're not getting a result. We don't think
so. What do we know? Dortmund over here. United 2-0 at Anfield over here. You had them to win too, though.
Yes, I did.
Was it 2-1?
I had 2-1, yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's wrap it up with Fulham in top league, Arsenal. And great year for Fulham.
What do you mean? Why are you speaking like it's over?
Because
that recent loss?
No, you know what? It was even before that, though. It was Paulina being out. They don't, you need, especially as, obviously they're what, 7th or something? 7th. I don't want to say mid-table, but you know what I mean. Club, you need your best midfielders against that Arsenal team to break up play and frustrate.
Yeah, but he got suspended.
And he got suspended. Yeah, exactly. It's a huge loss.
10 yellows.
And I think it's a loss that it's a 3-game suspension. I thought it was a 1-game suspension. What happened?
No, if you get 10 before a certain amount of games. 10.
Damn son.
I think it's before 30. Right? Yeah, only game 26.
Crazy.
No, Brentford. Brentford were the better team, I thought. Watching them against Fulham on Monday, they're kind of hitting a slump. Fulham, they are scoring, and it's just defensively they're not getting it done.
Paulina, telling you, man, Paulina is the difference, and he is the player that has taken this team to the next level this season. There's no doubt. There's no question. You can sing Mitrovic's praise as much as you want. Who's been pretty cold lately.
Yeah.
But the guy who has had them, Tim Ream getting clean sheets consistently, and even just linking the play, he's the engine of that team. There's no doubt. And to lose him, it just took away. I was looking forward to this match. I didn't last Saturday. I was looking forward to it, and then
you're not so much.
And then I was like, maybe Fulham can do something here, but
it's hard to play there.
They're gonna get overrun.
So you're thinking 2-0?
I want to have 3.
They're riding high from that Bournemouth comeback.
The Villa, still the Villa one as well, but yeah, the Bournemouth one for sure. And they're not. And Arsenal, they're not a loose team. They don't seem to really get ahead of themselves. They've got mettle. They show, they've come back twice in the last month. They grind out results when need be. And I think this might have been a result if Pauline was playing where I'd be maybe hoping for a draw, but probably still edging Arsenal for a 1-goal win, a 2-1, maybe even a 1-0. But without him, they're gonna get picked apart. I hope I'm wrong, but they're gonna get picked apart. 3-0.
3-0? No, I'm going with 2-1. Another scrappy win for Arsenal. It's hard. Craven Cottage. I gotta pull for. You know what? 1-1. Fulham's gonna help you out. My team, my boys. All
right.
1-1.
Okay.
Arsenal. They're gonna be riding too high. Now that I think of it, too high.
If you're Arsenal, don't you look at that Bournemouth match as a huge warning flag that you got away with?
Yeah, but they also have to do Europa League during out there.
I don't think they're gonna. I can honestly see Sporting getting past them.
You don't care? You think they don't care about it?
Not really. Not really at all, no.
They're away for that too.
They're away.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, my 1-1's looking pretty good now.
I think it's going to rotate heavy, man. As much as he can. I think you'll see Emil Smith Rowe start in that match, despite coming on and getting subbed off. I actually think you'll see Smith Rowe start.
You know what? You're hurt. Just get more hurt.
Because Trossard might be back for Fulham, maybe.
So Nketiah
He's
starts
not-
this game.
I don't know if Nketiah's available either. Isn't he hurt too?
Isn't
he hurt too?
He got hurt at the end of the game.
What,
The
Bournemouth?
4-0 game.
What?
He played at the end of the
What are you
4-0 game on the weekend last week.
Fuck you on. 4-0. Who the fuck are you talking about?
Arsenal beat someone 4-0.
What? They beat Bournemouth 3-2. What are you?
Before that.
Oh, in midweek.
Yes.
Everton.
Yes. And Nketiah played the last 20 minutes of that. But he didn't
All right,
play.
simmer down here,
So
Sonny
unless
Jim.
if he got hurt that game, that's not it.
Nketiah, knock, doubtful. That's for Thursday. Trossard, late March. I think I saw something today. No, I know I saw something today that the Trossard one's not
As serious.
as bad, but maybe late March was not as serious. But I think.
Well, I guess not that bad. It's just 10 days, but then you have the thing.
And then Jesus. So
And
up
then
top,
you have Nations League, right? So maybe
Emil
that's
Smith
why.
Rowe is definitely getting a start. He's gonna rotate,
He
man.
doesn't have a knock.
Who?
Smith Rowe.
No.
Oh,
No,
so
he's
why
got subbed out
Oh.
because he wasn't
Contribute.
playing very well.
He got an assist.
He got an assist, but that was it. That's what Dave said. Like, yeah, but I was thinking with that too. I'm like, like before the
it was
assist,
a nice
like
header across.
it was, but before that, I'm like, Emil Smith Rowe really isn't that much. He's gonna rotate. He's gonna rotate. If they still have Holding's gonna start that match. Tomiyasu gonna start against Sporting.
Yeah.
They're rotating Bob.
Tierney.
Put some of these guys in the shop window too, for the summertime. See who's, maybe get some value for some guys. See who might be actually surprising and sticking around. Nelson's gonna start.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but
1-1.
Which Sporting?
1-1. No.
Oh,
Fulham. Gotta believe in my boys.
I hope you're right, Mike, but I think you're wrong. As often it goes here on the station.
Funny.
Well, it's vice versa, obviously, clearly. If I think you're wrong, you must think I'm wrong.
And we'll make a trip to Anfield soon. Gotta end it with some sort of joke. Come on. I know you don't look so sad.
I'll go to Anfield.
Why are you circling my head on the
I
screen?
don't know.
Is that a threat?
I'll go to Anfield, but I have to go to Old Trafford first.
You have to go to Anfield and watch Liverpool score a touchdown. Touchdown, Liverpool. All right, I'm done.
Good night.
You had your fun.
You? Did you say you? Like I had my fun?
Yeah, you had your fun.
With what?
You had your fun. Sleeping in Sunday, right?
Yeah, so rested. So well rested. Okay, all right. Okay, until next week, guys. Thank you.
Touchdown, Liverpool.
Fuck off.
The extra point's good.
Shut